Hi everyone. In this video series I'm demonstrating how to set up and use the Backers Unreal Engine plugin. The purpose of the plugin is to provide a framework for Unreal Engine developers to easily manage custom Backer benefits in games and applications. The framework consists of two parts: the plugin itself, which is available on the Unreal Engine marketplace, and the backend API server, which is available for free as an open source project on both GitHub as source code and Docker Hub as an installable Docker image. In the previous video, we successfully set up the server side following this install.md tutorial, and now we'll use everything in the plugin itself in the Unreal Engine. So let's start. To get the plugin working, you first need to install it from the Unreal Engine marketplace. The instructions on how to do that are well described in the documentation of Unreal Engine. Here is the link, so you can go directly to that page and you have the detailed instructions here. It should be the same as with any plugin. Once you have it installed, you'll get it here in plugins. You need to enable it. So I have it installed in my project. That is one option. Another one is if you have it installed in your engine. In either case, you get the Backers plugin like this, and you need to enable it here. Once you restart your project, it will ask you to restart. Once you install the project, you are ready to go. So first, what we need to do to make the plugin work is we need to actually set up our backend. So the things we configured in the previous video, we need to now replicate here so that our plugin and our game is connected to the backend API in the correct way. So for that, I'll go to my not this one. This is just a screenshot. So I'll go to my backend server. So this is the one that we installed just in previous video. I think I have some test data here, so I'll just delete everything so that we can start from scratch. It says that I have some archived codes here. I'll delete those. Yes, I'm sure. And I'll delete this one. So you see that you can actually manage this. You have your backend interface, administration interface, and you can manage everything. So once all these inside of game data are clear, we are ready to go. This is the way you begin actually. So one thing we need to set up is our game version. So we have only one version. That's also an option. You can leave your whole application just as a single version, or you could even set up your backend API to serve multiple different games or multiple different versions of the same game. It does not matter. So here I'll just leave this always on top. So you can see that we have the same structure here as we have in this version page. So all we need to do is just copy the API URI and the version hash, and also our public key. So I'll copy these. One thing to note here is that sometimes, depending on how you copy this, depending on your browser and your OS, you might have problems with getting the code or whatever. In most cases, it's the problem with the copy pasting this information. So you just first try and just copy these things again. Okay, so I can now move this in the background, and we done the first step. Let me just for a second show that all the instructions I'm following are actually described here. So first thing, we installed the plugin, then we copied the information into the project settings, so everything is described here. Then the next thing we need to do is we need to set up our login widget. So you probably want to have your own game interface, and you probably want to have your own widgets for logging in and etc. However, with the plugin, you have the template widget, you have a kind of an example widget which you can use as starting point and then develop your own. In this demo, we'll use that template directly. So since I am using third-person template from Unreal Engine, it does not have any user interface, so I'll create one just for demo purpose. So I'll go to user interface, create widget blueprint, and I'll just choose user widget. I'll call it WB for widget blueprint and maybe demo overlay. So let's open that one up, and I need my canvas. So I'll just drag that in, and in that canvas I want to place my Backers login widget. So I'll just type Backer, and that's the one. So I need this one. So as you can see, the widget size is just maybe too small. I usually click size to content so that I can manipulate it easier. And the thing I want to have here is I want it aligned on the top right corner. So I'll type 1 here so that it's aligned with this corner. And I also want it anchored at the top right. So this template widget, this like demo widget, is set up in a way that it expands to the left and to the bottom. So this is the way it goes. You can implement this, of course, any way you like. So this one has a lot of features in it implemented to showcase what the API can do and what the system can do. But you can just get parts of it or use it in any way you like. Okay, so now we are actually set up. We just need to have the widget on. It should use the project settings to connect with the API. So we are all set here. The only thing we need to do actually is display our widgets. So I'll just override begin play in, or rather implement begin play in my level blueprint. So I'll just create widget, and it will be our demo overlay. So it's this one. Of course, I'll connect this. Okay, I can connect it now. So let's get player controller 0. So that's the default one, and we need to connect it. And then we also, the widget created, we need to add it to the viewport. Add to viewport. So let's select this one. Okay. And one other thing I want to do, because by default it does not give you mouse pointer in this demo, so in this template. So I'll just set input mode to game and UI so that we can test it. You probably want to switch between input modes when opening your menu, but since I don't have any menus here, I just want to use the mouse as is. And another thing I want to set, show mouse, and it's hidden by context sensitivity. So I'll just click here. I want to show it, and the target here is player controller. So I want to actually just duplicate this one here and here. So let's connect this one to player controller. We need that, and we need it here. So now we should be all set up to use the widget. So let's actually try that. So now I want to play in the selected viewport. So this is my, okay, I'm already logged in. So let me just reset that thing also. So as you can see, these codes are persisted. Actually, let's try. So now it thinks I am logged in because it did not contact the server in any way. Codes are persisted on the local machine for number of days, which can be set in the project settings. So right now I'll just click this Backer update so that it tries to get my code from the server again, and that should fail because we just a second ago we just deleted all the code. So if I click update, it says no code, and then it says that I'm non-Backer, which is the way I wanted to set this up. So now if I click it again, of course no code, and if I stop and start again, it will not say that I'm logged in. And now I can click connect. So for that one, I'll just pull this window in front and leave it on top so that we can see what's happening. So now when I click connect and I click this button, let me just move this a bit further. If I click connect, then it opens my last active web browser, and it goes to my Backers API demo URL, which we set. So by default it uses Patreon, so this is Patreon register, and this is the way the template form looks. You can, with a bit of coding, you can change that on the server side. This is just the default one. It's using this title, which you can change in the API config, and it uses also, so because I did not set any installation label, it's not displaying anything here. So if I click now connect, and I am already logged into my Patreon account, which is called Backers Demo, which maybe should be called different. So my Patreon account has the name of Backers Demo, and my client also has the name of Backers Demo, but these two are different. So if I just click allow, you can experiment with this and see what is displayed and in what way. So it says, congratulations, you successfully enabled Patreon benefits in your game installation. You can now refresh your Backer info in the game by clicking on the update button. So now if we click update, code updated, and we are registered as Backers plugin Patreon account with the tier droid. So I can now disconnect if I want, or reconnect, and I'll explain later what this installation label is, but it can be just ignored for now. Okay, so my Patreon is Coffee Droid, and since our Patreon tier of Coffee Droid is set up to refer to Coffee Droid game tier, this is the one that I got. And as you can see, Coffee Droid has the code name of just Droid, and this is the thing that's displayed here. We can change that, I'll show that later. So Right now we can see that the backend is working. We can see the code here, live codes. We have one code, so this is the one. And we have the signature, which is actually this information just signed with our with the version private key, and it's confirmed with the version public key, which we set up in project settings. And also the communication is done encrypted with some symmetric key. So that's the standard way of doing it. So now we also have this Backer information, which says Backers plugin. So that's my display name for my Patreon account for testing, and this is the URL of the user. This URL is used as a key, not email, because on different crowdfunding platforms it would have different URL, even though the email might be the same. And so with these implementation details, I'll explain them later, but this is the information you get here by default. So now if I, for example, just want to disconnect, so let's try that. I'll disconnect. It says successfully unregistered. Now I'm non-backer. I got back to where I started from. In live codes, I don't have any code. However, I have archived code. So, and you also get the archive datetime, so that you know when the user logged out. So you can store that information if you like. And the Backer display Backer information is kept. It's not it is not, by disconnecting it is not deleted from the backend. That's one thing to note. But if I reconnect again, the tier updates, and actually the information updates for this user. Okay, so I'll reconnect again just to show one more feature. So connect and allow. Okay, and now I can refresh that because I have another code. So in code archive, I have this old code, which is not used anymore, and I have one new code generated. I'm still Droid here. What I'll do is I'll change in this, even though the Backer tier is Coffee Droid, and it will get updated each time the user registers. So it's not, you can change it, but it will be overwritten. But in live codes, you can actually change the tier for the code. So that's why it's called code tier, because it's valid only for this instance. So I can set it to be true fan here if I want to override that. And once I save, so the code is still live, but it just has different code tier, even though the Backer is still just Droid. And if I still have Droid here, but if I update the code updated, I can see that I'm true fan now. Okay, so this is all nice. It is all working. Let's actually check our list. So we have the login widget working, and now we are still not changing anything in the game with this logging in. So we are not actually giving any benefits to our backers except for displaying their name here. So let's now implement something like that. For that, I have these cubes, which are not just, so let me just check. So here, here you have some instructions how you can implement that, and we'll do that. We'll bind event to onBacker code updated. So each time it updates, we can get, and we can use Backers Subsystem variables to get the current valid Backer status and information. So let's do that. I'll stop this, and you can see that we have these cubes in the level, which are actually not, So these chamfered cubes are not just static meshes, they are blueprints. And if I click Ctrl E to edit those, they don't have any code here. So let's just implement here that they react to our switching, to our logging in and logging out. So let's do that. So on begin play of each of these cubes, we'll actually register event to our event dispatcher. So first we'll get Backers. Usually you just start with Backers and then you get everything displayed here. So if I get Backers API, I can assign an event to on Backer code updated event dispatcher. And so it's like this. And here you can see immediately that I get some information. However, I'll duplicate this and I'll use actually variables. If I type var, I get these variables which are actually currently logged in Backer information which we have on our disposal. So one is registered, and another one which you might use is which game tier this is. This is actually tier code, so you can switch on string to go between these. So that's nice. And yeah, you can get installation label, display name, and those kinds of things. So right now I'll just use is registered. So for any registered user, I'll do this. And what I want to do is actually just change the material of my static mesh component. So set material, and I want to, depending on whether I am registered or not, I want to set different materials. So I'll just say here select, and depending on this, depending whether it is true or false, I'll use different material. So by default, this component comes with solid blue. So I can maybe just I can find it here and then probably just use this one. Yeah. And another one, I have solid blue, but solid Backer blue. So it's just a different material. So let's try and test that. So now if we go here and run the game, you can see that even though we are logged in, nothing happened. That's because the event does not happen on load by default. So we are actually listening for changes, and the change happens each time we actually update the code. So if I click update, you can see that it knows that we are logged in. And so to fix that, we just need to get the Backer status from the API. We need to get it also the moment we begin play. And to do that, I'll actually collapse all this into function. I'll call that apply Backer benefits, and I'll call that function also here. And while we are here, I want to just add something here because I have that prepared. And that's to actually show these decals. I'll call them. I'll actually get their reference, and I'll set visibility to status of is registered. So I'll do that for all. So I need to connect these. and now I should get something a bit more interesting. So let's try that. So now I have these decals also displayed. So you can see you can use this for anything. And if I unregister, so if I disconnect, you see that you get event immediately and it changes the status. So it hides those decals and changes the material to default. And now, of course, if I try to update, I don't have the code because I disconnected. And if I connect again, so connect, allow, and this one is I'm in the wrong. I am in the wrong. I'm logged in with the wrong Patreon account here, so that's why I couldn't create Backer code, because I'm actually not a Patreon of the campaign. So I'll do that again. I'll show you in a minute what happened there, but I'll do that again, but not in this. I again made the mistake. So I have to have this browser instance selected, because in this one I'm logged in with the correct Patreon account, which is a Backer. So that's one thing you need to pay attention to. So connect, allow, and now I am, because this one is a Backer, and you just need to update, and that's what we want to see. So that, in short, that's the way you use it. That's the whole procedure. You don't need to do anything else to get it working. So I'll just take a look at this list. We can do a bit more optional things. For example, those game tiers labels. At the moment we just get that code, so we just get this droid, and if we want to have some labels displayed there, we need to actually get our game tier labels, and for that we have this convenience CSV download for this table, so we can download that one. You see I got game tiers configuration.csv, and what I'll do, I'll just open this and open my downloads somewhere. Okay, so I'll drag and drop that file here. Actually not here, I want to have it here. So I'll just drag and drop my file here. When I do that, I get this dialog which asks me what type of import that is. Data table, that is fine. And I have this Backers game tier structure. You can search it with Backers, of course. And you just need to click apply. So what that did is it created this game tiers configuration data table. So let's open that one. Inside you can see you have your tier codes and tier labels imported from the, so that's nothing really special. But the nice thing about this is that these are text, the tier labels are text, which means that you can use Unreal Engine features to localize it. You can assign it to string table, and you have your key here and namespace, and you can localize this to any language or any alphabet. So let's, okay, I'm still running this. So how do I use that? And to use that, actually, we can open our demo overlay, and this widget is actually set up to use that out of the box. So you just need to go to your game tier labels config, and you can just choose game tiers configuration, and that's it. You need to compile and save it. And for your game, you can of course load that into whatever structure you want to use it in. This, just to take a note, this has row names of the same as your tier code, so it makes it easier to find the tier label translation, because you can then search directly in this data table asset. You don't need to import it into some map structure or something like that. So let's try this. And I am now Backer plugin, so I have the correct login, and here you can see that it says Coffee Droid with label and not just that code. And if I, for example, if I go here, what I can do, I can update this live code, and I can set it to true fan, for example, save it, and once I update, code I updated, now I am a true fan. So that's how you use it. And that's it. That's actually everything. We can take a look. So here optionally you can import game tiers table. That's exactly what we did. And for other things on using the Backers Subsystem, you can check the documentation on wiki pages, which you have a link here, and you'll also have the link in the on the plugin page. So that's it, what I wanted to show. Yeah, I don't have anything else. So to summarize, with this demo complete, you now have the framework all set up and hopefully enough understanding of the system to implement any kind of benefits for your backers. With the basics out of the way, in the next video I'll go over the toolset in more details, including how to use manual authorization independently of any crowdfunding platform, which can be useful while working with testers, or if you'd like to enable exclusive content for your VIP clients. So yeah, you can also do that. You can manually register testers and VIP clients as you see fit. So yeah, I'll explain a bit more about that in the next video, so see you there. Bye.